Because it's.
Okay.
We on?
Mhm.
Shall we have a pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let the roll call show that all's present except Councilman Whitener.
Believe he's out of town. He was gonna try and join via Zoom, but I haven't heard from him.
Okay,
Last I heard, he was in Milwaukee.
those would like to join me in a prayer, please do. Lord, look down with us and bless us with your wisdom to proceed this evening as we're doing the business for the town of Shoshone. May our decisions be wise and for the benefit of the town. We thank you, Lord, for all that you do for us. In your name, amen. Approval of the agenda.
Motion.
Second. Been moved by Councilwoman Harkey, second by Councilman Stetler. We approve the agenda. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. Motion passed, all in the affirmative. Any communications from citizens? Anybody online? Consent agenda. Kind of motion to approve the consent agenda. Or can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Makes it easier.
Approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilwoman Harkey, that we approve the minutes of April 22nd, 2025. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion passed on the affirmative.
Move we approve the bills from April 23rd through May 13th of
Yeah.
2025.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, we approve the bills April 23rd, 2025 to May 13th, 2025. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Been second by Councilman Nordine. Any discussion?
Real briefly, if you look on the bill list, you'll see that there's an addition. The clerk was able to extrapolate a paid invoice report detail. So when we have those one bills, it's like, say, $5,000 for a squeegee, and you're like, how's it $5,000 for a squeegee? And that's only one item of many on that one bill. She has a detail that she's now including that breaks out every transaction that makes up that one check, so you can see every individual transaction. So hopefully that'll answer any questions going forward.
I was gonna say something about that. It's like, is this something we're gonna do it all the time? Cause that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she got it all
Yeah.
worked out. She formatted it. I think you guys had requested it before. And she got it included. So that will now be part
Right.
of every bill list. Now you'll see not just the checks, the total, but you'll see the breakdown if it encapsulates numerous different charges, especially like credit cards and things of that nature.
Sure.
So you
Makes it
broke
much
your
clearer.
computer?
Pardon?
You broke your computer? Says diagnostics for Joel.
I had the computer get infected.
Did you get infected?
It got infected.
Who turned the heat on?
Whew. I mean,
and kids.
We haven't turned the heat on at our house since we moved in, so I don't turn the heat on.
There you go, John.
Thank you.
I thought it was hot too, but I was just being.
Well, that was at 68.
It says 68, but it was on heat.
Well, 68.
It's 75.
Yeah, but it shouldn't, but the heat shouldn't be coming, the heat ain't coming on.
Yeah, but the cool isn't cooling it down.
Okay, well,
Was this when
I
you got
went,
that?
I went home for lunch in my house,
This is a different thermostat than in your office.
well, I know,
Oh.
but I went home to my house and my AC wasn't on, and it wasn't hot, and I thought this shouldn't be hot either. But anyway, yeah, if it was 75, it was.
75.
I just wanted to let you guys know that'll be on every bill list from now on.
And then this other one, I have a question, the Shoshone East Side Sidewalk. What is this?
That is on from the east side of town on Second Street. There's no sidewalk. So once you get on the south and north side of the street, sidewalk ends on the south side. It ends right after the town plaza. Then it's just dirt all the way out of town. And then on the north side, there's no sidewalk. So kids are walking in the street because we have that steep downgrade.
Oh, okay,
So we're gonna put sidewalks on north and south to go all the way to the medical clinic and to the rest area.
okay.
And so that's just the
I was
engineering.
confused because I was thinking it was that way, not. that
No,
way.
east.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's like,
So yeah, that's what that
Okay.
is.
that's.
Yeah, that was a grant we got
Right.
ordered last year.
I was just confused
Yeah.
which way it was.
Yeah, okay. Any other questions? No other questions,
No
I'm
other
waiting,
questions?
okay, it's waiting for someone, yeah, we're ready. No, so we have no further questions, all in favor, say aye.
I-
Aye, oppose the same, motion passed, all in the affirmative. Resolution 24-01, Wyoming cardiopulmonary. And what this resolution is for the support for Wyoming cardiopulmonary to build their clinic here in central Wyoming for the benefit of approximately 10% of the state population. Servicing Fremont, Hot Springs, Bighorn, Washakie, Park counties.
Is this gonna help them out?
Yes.
I'm,
This is for. If. This can help them with the business council and other entities that are moving forward. On seeking financing to build the facility. And they'd like to get building before the year's end, but I'm my guess it could be next year before all the gears of government stuff moved to work this out. But in any event, that's what this is. And I've talked with other councilmen and county commissioners in our area that are supportive of this also.
I move we approve the resolution.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler that we approve the resolution 24-01.
I will second.
It's been seconded by Councilman Nordine. Any further discussion?
I don't have to read it.
I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
say, do
we
you
have
need to
read
read it or can
Yeah,
we get
let's-
it
yeah, let's
posted
read
or
it.
something?
As read,
Kinda
yeah, read it. Where
I was like,
we need to
yes.
read. I explained, but we didn't read it.
Okay. Resolution number 24-011, a resolution in support of the construction of a centralized cardiopulmonary clinic by Wyoming Cardiopulmonary Services for the purpose of providing comprehensive and critical cardiopulmonary care to the central Wyoming region. Whereas Wyoming Cardiopulmonary Services seeks to construct a year-round cardiology clinic in Shoshone, Wyoming, servicing the communities within the counties of Fremont, Hot Springs, Washakie, Bighorn, and Park, representing approximately 10% of Wyoming's population. And whereas Wyoming Cardiopulmonary Service currently travels from Casper to 4 separate locations within the limits, which limits the services available, and has proposed to construct a state-of-the-art cardiology clinic. The proposed clinic will combine the current 4 counties serviced individually into a centralized location. A centralized location will increase accessibility to critical care, help reduce travel times for all, and will provide for the increase of services and procedures which are currently unavailable at the 4 separate locations. And whereas the proposed clinic will provide comprehensive care for cardiac and peripheral vascular conditions, key services will include cardiac stress testing, echo stress testing, nuclear cardiac imaging, and non-invasive procedures such as Holter and event monitoring. And whereas the proposed clinic's design includes provisions for the integration of additional healthcare services such as nephrology, optometry, dentistry, and family practice, reflecting a commitment to enhancing healthcare access and creating employment opportunities within the region. And whereas access to cardiopulmonary healthcare is limited due to available doctors, facilities, and proximity to a local facility. Cardiopulmonary issues are time sensitive with the immediate need for care and diagnosis. A centralized location will not only save lives, but assist in the early detection of serious cardiopulmonary complications and issues, thereby preventing unnecessary escalation of conditions. And now, therefore, be resolved by the governing body of the town of Shoshone supports Wyoming Cardiopulmonary Services proposal for the construction of a centralized state-of-the-art cardiopulmonary facility, which will provide access to life-saving healthcare and improve the health and welfare of all citizens. That was enough.
So
I still move.
the been moved as read
Yes.
And seconded as read.
and been seconded as read. Any further discussions?
So just in the
Yeah.
first paragraph, there's a semicolon after Wyoming. I'm not sure that's needed. And maybe instead of that, it could be to service the communities instead of servicing. That's what I do. Or we can leave it because it's just beautiful as written,
Thank you.
you know?
Thank you. That's what I'm here for. Yeah, I can make that little change. I mean,
Well, if you agree with
Grammatically.
it.
I don't profess to be an English major, so.
Well, nor do I, thank God. But is there gonna be an ER emergency room part of this clinic
No.
as well? Okay. I didn't, it's. That's fine.
Yeah, not
It
a,
will save life through, diagnosis, but it's nothing immediate. It's, you get diagnosed here and off you go somewhere else if there's a,
Well, currently, like if you're having a cardiac event.
okay, I'll leave, Chris.
I think the semicolon needs to stay.
I think so.
So but currently, if you're in Riverton, you're having a cardiac event.
Yeah.
You might get shifted there. If you're having a local facility with nearby proximity, they could do certain imaging and testing to see if you need to be evacuated or not, and be able to diagnose and treat. Whereas right now, you would be able to locally, you'd have to go somewhere else. So in that way, it's immediate.
they're gonna be doing basic, my understanding, everything, but they will not have a cath lab there. At presently, they may in the future, but they will not have a cath lab, they will not do surgery. But they'll have cardiologists there and the capability, nuclear, and they can do a lot.
I don't know that much about it, but I do know people that have had a cardiovascular event and then they're constantly traveling for checkups and tests to see if.
Cause part of that have to have cath labs for that kind of stuff.
Ah,
My
that is-
dad probably had to have.
It's, yeah. Yeah, there, it gets to a point where the cath lab's the only, cause you can do all the other tests they did on me and didn't catch anything till they did a cath lab.
Right.
Okay, I'm done. I moved the previous question. Let's vote.
So if there's no further discussion, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed the same. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Building permit for Vance Paraguay on 204 West Sixth Street. He's building a new. Is it a new home? That what is getting built, it says building here. The house?
Is that where that C cam's at in those campers?
Yep.
That's what I was just gonna ask you guys about, what he was doing over
It's not a
there.
new home, it's a standalone. Like expansion, but it's a 12 foot by 32 foot.
Well, then,
See,
is that some sort of
Is that what
tiny
he's
home?
building
Yeah.
into a tiny house?
Yeah.
I was wondering about that, the way he's putting the pallets up. Cause he's like blocking it off. I think so. Nobody can get in there, to look, to get in there. But he's got,
Well-
cause he's got two campers and he's got that C cam.
It's got that boat there too.
Yeah,
Is that the CKM?
So you
Yeah.
put 3 rooms in it. Yeah, it's more like a tiny,
It's on the one that we
tiny
got
home,
emailed.
yes, type thing, 12 foot by 32 foot.
That looks more like the dimensions of a mobile home than it does a.
that's what a
House.
C cam is, isn't it?
What?
That's the size of a C cam, isn't it?
What is this?
It's just tiny.
Well, it's gonna be
Those-
it's gonna be 14 feet tall.
Metal containers.
So
That's what
long
they're
as
called,
you
right?
don't-
C cams?
But it's only gonna have 1 floor. So it'll have a roof.
Mhm. Well, and it would, in the, some of the specs down below, it talks about floor joists and, stick lumber, so. It's just small. I read that, I went, is this really a still built home?
But how much room does one guy need?
How much is it?
I think a tiny house is the way to go.
How much room does one guy need? All of it. I know, well, I mean, depends on who you are, I guess. Man, a bride, the 2 boys, the 2 labs and the 3 cats lives in a 30-foot school bus, so.
With a couple add-on tents.
Well, yeah, but when it's minus 35, I don't care how big the fire you stoke, that tent ain't habitable. I didn't see anything that went against any ordinances that we have. I didn't know if anybody else did.
In R3 zoning.
Remind me again, R3 is,
Anything, isn't it?
You can do a
You can do
lot.
multifamily. That's it's not limited to single family, so you can do multifamily, you can do home daycare, mobile home. Within their current restrictions. Which we don't have any size restrictions currently in R3. We will here shortly, but right now we don't.
on the plot plan. He has a kind of a quick drawing of where that's at, which street is what on here? I don't,
Sixth Street,
well, the Sixth in California, but I don't see. Is it this way? Is it this way? I mean, I'm not sure. I think it's,
If the address he used, the door is facing Sixth Street.
right. I'm just trying to figure out the orientation of this building on that
I
property.
didn't see it, so I don't know.
Does he show a door? There. There's the door.
No,
I'm assuming it'll draw on the bottom of the door.
Oh, it is on there.
So yeah, I don't know what the orientation is, it's gonna be hard to tell from, it'd be guessing. But if he's addressing it off Sixth Street.
Those doors, yeah.
I think the right side would be, of the drawing would be
The door,
probably Sixth,
yeah, that's
and then California.
what I'm assuming, so California would be going this way. With,
See those lots there, do they run? They run east, west, not north, south over there, don't they?
They do.
Yeah,
So
But the setback is what, 8 feet or something?
10. Or maybe, from the roadway, you mean,
Well,
from the alley.
as
The middle of
far
the
as,
alley is 10.
as far as from the I'd have to look at the ordinance from the front of the property from the easement to where you can build a permanent structure.
It's either 8 or 10 feet.
I can-
That
I think
thing.
Commercial's 8. I don't know that R3.
Right. Residential was 10 for some reason. Remember,
Could be.
variance and one guy that couldn't put his tree in there close enough to 10. That we're on Third Street. That sticks out a little bit. Maybe there's. But from his map, he would be. Well beyond that.
Yeah, I move we approve the building permit.
I'll second it.
Been moved and second that we approve the building permit for Vince Paraguay. Any further discussion?
The only question I had, I remember he had some questions about utilities. Did we get that handled?
Utilities are installed,
Okay,
or I mean,
I meant water and sewer.
water and sewer is.
okay. I was just curious, it wasn't.
Yeah, he got that installed last fall.
Okay. I guess I must have forgot about that or something.
Didn't any other questions? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, both the same, motion pass all in the affirmative. Business license for Curry Rail Systems
Move we approve the business license for Curry Rail Services.
Service. Been, got us to get a second?
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilwoman Harkey, that we approve the business license for Curry Rail Services. Any further discussion?
Looks like they're starting to pick up some employees and get things going.
Yeah, they hired at least one Shoshone citizen that I know of.
Where they would put it out there on Facebook and they got tore up big time. I wouldn't put it out there. Well, people are just scared.
Oh,
what
after
happened
the way it was mismanaged and
Before,
No, I believe this is a very good company that has come here. They've had their environment, health and safety lady, I call HR.
so
anyway,
if they
with
have a
HHS.
problem, are we responsible because we gave them a business license?
No,
Okay, just checking.
I encourage anybody that has any questions about them to get online and look them up.
Okay.
They're family-owned business, been in business since 1932. They went from just a little store to where they are now. Still in the family, they're very family oriented. They want to hire local Wyoming people that want to live here. Housing's an issue. I know their superintendent is looking at buying land probably in Thermopolis. He found a good buy on some land. There's no housing here.
We had land,
Huh?
we had land.
Yeah, but he's found a really smoking deal on some land, rural Thermopolis in the country, it's 5-6 acres. That, he just likes, where he likes the location of it there, so. Thermopolis is if I didn't live here, I wouldn't mind living in Thermopolis, that's a nice town.
well,
But don't tell anybody over there that. But yeah, it's nice. It's a good town. Yeah, but almost as nice as Du Bois. But yeah, but anyway, but we really got a housing issue because they're talking about they're gonna be in July, maybe up and running, it's what it's looking like now. They're way ahead of schedule. Things are moving along with the federal government. Who could believe that? I got maybe a change and that's helping moving faster, but if they've hired contractors who are doing some work on the facility, bringing everything up to what they need. It's in fact, Mark's gonna have dinner with them tomorrow.
Cool.
that's not like a bribe thing, is it?
I'm sure it's not.
Anyway, I'm gonna be my obligations. For student citizens of the year tomorrow night, if I can ride out. But I am gonna be touring the facility with them sometime tomorrow. A
Cool.
little bit, get to talk to them a little bit. But yeah, they have some people here, so yeah, it's a good thing, but any doubt, I encourage someone to look online. Look them up. Well, like very good. I think it'd be a great fit, a real benefit to the town of Shoshone. Business license, B and M Septic and Excavation
Uh-huh.
Services.
We
didn't
didn't
vote.
We did both, oh. We're ready, discussion is completed. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Approve the business license.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed all in the affirmative. Business license, B and M Septic and Excavation Services.
I move we approve the permit for B&M.
Been moved by Councilman Stetler. Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Councilman Harkey to approve the business license, B and M Septic and Excavation Services. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Both same, motion passed all in the affirmative. Move on down, unfinished business, travel and reimbursement policy.
This is what we put together from our discussions. Anybody have any discussion on it?
I just got this tonight and I have not read through it.
Yeah,
Hurry up.
I'm trying. I was too busy trying to read through the bills.
Did you see a copy of this, Marshall?
So the travel rec form is really, I think on the last page, I think we're talking about a travel voucher instead.
Well, it was labeled that, I think, so she just typed in what was labeled, just as a filler
We're just trying to,
of a reference point of what, so if you want to make it as a voucher.
Well, the rec is this gets approved and then the voucher is claiming the expenses that are authorized on the travel rec.
Okay.
So.
So we need,
we're trying to get it all.
yeah, so it's kind of confusing, so
I
we
think
talked about
great.
different things, we were talking about like pre-approved travel. For like going to conferences and going to trainings and things of that nature. Those are pre-approved by the department head. So we need to add that in there, they still need to fill that out for that training or just the voucher. I guess is what, I don't know. Do we do both for that or?
Well, yeah, any travel would start with the travel rec. No
For
matter-
pre-approved or not?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then it has to be.
So we need, so add that into up there at the. That's the. On the travel guidelines that they'll fill out a form. The travel recreation, the travel rec form. There, right? That were. that where you're talking about putting it up there is with their travel to complete that form up there.
Right there, okay.
Or at least reference it there, so it's in the policy, they have to fill it out.
Okay,
Is that where you want it?
well, I think that's fine. You know, I mean, it's starts at the travel rec and ends with the travel voucher after you come back.
So then change those two out then.
Yeah, and the travel voucher, all the receipts are gonna get submitted, should be listed on the travel voucher. Because that way they would correlate together and life is good and people are happy and we all smile about it.
May I make a form suggestion?
Sure.
So. I'm talking about the policy, so if you wanted to have forms, what you could do is. Like the. Rec. Under the, like, you could have that. Put under there as at the end, C. Form such and such in the appendix or whatever, and then same with the voucher. Get down to reimbursement, say, see voucher form such and such in the appendix. And then you can just, whenever, if you see something wrong with the form, you can just update the form.
Yeah, because the form is the form, whatever's on that, whatever that form looks like is.
Right, exactly. And then that way it's just, you just reference to the form as part of the appendix, it's in there, you can change the form however you want. Without going through a huge rigmarole for changing this every time.
Really good.
On that note, rather than worrying about required travel requisition form or required voucher form, by completing the required travel forms. See appendix.
Is Kim online?
Yeah.
When we get to discussion, I'll have questions for her.
We have a travel voucher form, I'm sure I could, model a Shoshone town travel voucher form from. If you would like me to do that, I mean, I don't know if the town has one, but I certainly could come up with an idea, well, suggestions.
Good.
I will do that.
Okay,
I will do that.
Can I have a motion to approve with the additions that's been suggested? We have them written down.
Yeah, or do we want to table one more time and put those additions in, and that way I'd have the form as well.
I'd like to, yeah, that would, I know.
When
You know, we were reaching out for other municipalities and stuff for some guidance and found very little. And maybe a little more time, we can get some more, that was one of my concerns. From the audience, please approach and tell us who the heck you are, John.
I'm John Meyer, resident of Shoshone, Wyoming. And as you just mentioned, this wheel has been invented over and over and over. As Marcus said, he can pull one from the college. I know we had them in Du Bois. I know Riverton's got them, Landers. Every municipality almost has that. A lot of those you can find on their websites, in their town codes, or I'm surprised you haven't got any feedback from other municipalities that would, you know.
We have.
Oh, okay.
We got about 9 policies. From other-
Oh, okay, very good.
Did we get-
Some are so comprehensive because they're big cities. We're a small town.
Right,
So
right,
trying to take something in Laramie that has over 200 employees.
got it. Yeah, I know that I did that myself. in
There
Du
might
Bois.
be having Du Bois address elected officials and not just employees, because they're different.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
But that would
was,
be my suggestion, and I think it's already been suggested to table it and get those informations, or if you've already got them. I think that's a good place to start. I mean, why
Right.
try and reinvent the
That's-
thing when it's already there in many different forms? Just have
What
to
do you want added? to
whittle it
this?
down.
So don't. Can I just add something? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you got really bad feedback.
I know. Hold on.
Yes. Playing on screen and talking.
I didn't see any that addressed governing bodies. And so Kim must got in a
Okay,
bunch
maybe
more.
now.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I put out an e-blast and so far I got 4 responses. They vary extremely. Depending on the size of the town that is responding. Some are very simple. And others, like Christopher was saying, the larger the community, the municipality, the more intense their policy is. So, yeah, I'm still waiting to see if anybody else responds back.
I don't have anything else. Thank you,
Oh,
Mayor and Council.
Well, do you have any idea, remember what yours was, John and Du Bois?
I don't.
I was gonna.
I know
reach
I
out
had to
Pat
fill out
and
a
have
bunch of them,
chance.
but you know, I know they have them.
Yeah.
And it was just like one page and so it
And
wasn't.
this is addressing officials, town officials. This is.
Yeah, I seen them.
I heard somebody mention elected officials. Do you want
Yeah.
to get elected officials? Or as official, I mean, I don't know.
I
are
mean,
they-
we're all elected.
We are,
Either
I don't know. if
right,
they're-
right.
I'm just saying, what's proper?
Right.
See, mind if I just,
Please do.
not opinion, but. So statute 15-2-102 gives you the authority to do this. For elected officials.
So so it should be elected officials then.
It doesn't matter. You can have it for all. You can do it for elected and appointed and hired personnel. So you can do it for everybody here.
Right.
and It doesn't matter. It can be the same for everybody. You can. I'm just telling you, you have the authority to do it for elected officials as well as appointed, as well as hired employees.
Should we have that statute listed on here?
You don't have to.
Okay.
You could, I mean, there's another statute for appointed. Which is.
This here does town officials and employees. So. Guess if you're an employee, I guess if you're appointed, you're a town official, correct, or?
Yeah.
Not elected, yeah,
It's broad enough to kind of cover just
yeah,
people who aren't employees, you know?
sure.
And that's fine.
I think we should go with this and we get the paperwork for you for the,
Then my only holdup on proving it is we don't have the forms with
Right.
it. It's that it. So I would move, we table this until next meeting when we have the forms.
We'll have a,
We put the
Complete
forms
package
with it and then we
together.
could pass all of it. I don't want to pass it without the forms that go with it.
So with the voucher form that I'm going to acquire. I can do that fairly quickly. You know, I can do that this week, certainly. And who would I send that to? Should I send it to you? Should I send it to Kim?
we all should have a chance to review it and look over it and then move forward. Because we do have a policy in place for. But it's specifically the policy in place is for employees only.
You can send it to Kim and she can, send
Forward
it
it
to us
out.
all.
Yeah. Cause I
That's
had,
what I needed to know. Tim, it's coming your way.
that last I talked to him, I think was Friday. That's. But I hadn't read it.
Okay.
Yeah. So. We'll look at this again. We'll table it till our next regular scheduled council meeting.
That's good.
B, Trailhead Bid Project Award, we tabled that. Marshall, we had one of the bids that came in from being M Septic was the apparent low bidder, but they were missing a signature on the signature page,
Yes.
but they had signed it on the bid tabulation page.
Yeah, I remember that.
I guess, in your opinion, would that be the acceptable low bid?
That would be entirely up to the council. You can still reject it because they didn't comply with the process for the if you so chose.
So in practice, how big of a deal is that?
It depends, I mean. Yeah, I'm not an industry expert, but all I'm gonna tell you is if I got a guy that's coming in to build my property and he can't fill out the forms correctly or look at plans correctly, do I want him building my house? That's just my personal opinion. That's not my legal opinion. So that's up to the council. If you don't follow the process, you can reject it. The same thing is if they come in and, if you know someone submits a bid and they misquote a line item that which makes them a low bidder because they made a mistake, they can hold their feet to the fire on that all the way through. Accept that bid. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but those are scenarios, but you could reject it too. Knowing that it was a mistake. And they made a big mistake and then you can reject it because it's it's not gonna work out. As long as you have a good reason, you can reject it. You don't have to accept it.
So with that knowledge,
So all that was missing here was a signature, right?
Yeah.
One of these signatures.
Since he did sign, I think the question is with him signing it, is it still binding?
No, that's what I'm saying. The council can look at it and say, look, you have a defective bid. We are rejecting.
No, well, I mean where he did sign it, but in the wrong spot.
Yes, okay, so
Would that be a binding contract because it is actually signed?
that's a different question.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Yes, it is because
I think that's what Mark's
you are
asking.
basing it on the fact that he has come in and said, this is my bid. And this is what I'm gonna go by, and you're gonna go off of his word based on that. Yes, it is.
yeah, there's a signature page that they didn't sign. It says everything is all the bid is correct and going through, and that's what he didn't sign.
So he's really not validating that his bid's correct then, by not signing that.
Yeah, but their initial or something on the bid tabulation, he signed in a different place. Its tabulation was correct.
And he sent an email saying, if I remember correctly, from the last, meeting, he sent an email saying that this was his bid. He stands by it. You can rely on that and force him to follow that.
Yeah, so the email really becomes the signature.
You're taking that into consideration if you decide to accept it, yes.
Is,
I mean, I'm gonna tell you. Everybody always wants to know if you can get sued or someone can get out of a contract. And I want to tell you, everybody try, you can have the most airtight case in the world and you're gonna get sued and you may win. You'll probably win, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna get sued. Someone that tries to get out of the contract may have an airtight contract. They still may try to get out of the contract. And you'll probably win, but you just gotta realize they may try to do that. So that's up to you guys. But I'm telling you, that's one half dozen of the other. That's, you're asking questions of whether someone can do something. Or whether, and I'm telling you, they can try. And whether they're successful, I don't think they would be. But that's where that lies.
the other contractor knows that he was missing the signature. So the concern would be if he wanted to litigate or said the bid was defective, wasn't completed as supposed to be done. Would he have a,
Have a claim?
yeah. Cause he may say that the bid was not.
I don't think it'd be a successful claim personally, but again, that's not saying that they
Yeah.
couldn't try.
I just wanna bring out all the options. The bids were very, very close. They were also looking at units. They were also less than last time, both bidders. Cut.
Looking at units,
Huh?
what's a unit?
On, if you go down the. There's a copy. Did you see copies of the bids? I think everybody had one last time.
I mean, all things being equal, you can take into account. The defects in the bid, recommendations of the engineers. Past history. And all that to make your decision. Doesn't necessarily, as long as you have a good reason to reject the bid, you can.
So my tenure is short. LCI Trucking, B&M Septic, I mean, they've done jobs for the town before, haven't they?
Well, yeah, LCI Trucking is currently,
They're currently doing one, yeah.
yes.
Currently doing,
The road access and tank.
Water tank
Okay.
project,
and have they done other projects for the town?
not to my knowledge.
What about B&M?
They've done small projects, they fixed our sewer and stuff for us, that dug it up in town, and they also have own a plumbing company, they've done plumbing for us, they put in our water. Well, they haven't done a larger job like this for us, but they've been working for us. Yeah, I don't know how they missed signing. That was the important one to sign.
Would you say they're both reputable?
Yeah. I mean, we had. Do you know of any issues we've had with either one of them, Chris?
No, I'm just looking at this, just. Take a look at some of the cost contract or contrasters. But they do have the lowest overall bid, but I will say that. Regardless of this, we have multiple different options with our funding to stay within budgets, so there's certain things that. Depending on our other contracts, we have to take into consideration that may or may not be completed. On this project.
Yeah, what we, if we accept this, we would. Go to them and talk about the contract and looking, I have got an estimate on electrical that needs to be done. And an estimate on how much engineering costs will be to complete it. And an estimate of talking with Mike. Really don't have time to put in the septic system. We're gonna try to do that ourselves. We ain't gonna have the time, so I got a cost estimate to put in the septic system, so that we're looking at all of our,
Wouldn't it
all
be
of our
cheaper to
budget,
put
what we
porta
can
potties
afford,
in?
pardon?
Wouldn't it be cheaper just to put porta potties in?
Yeah, but, don't know, if you had a couple porta potties, like, what that would cost, that would probably cover 20-30 years of rent, but sure wouldn't be as nice, and we don't have a grant for porta potties for the next 20 years, but we do have a grant to build a nice bathroom.
So we're not gonna be around for 20 years now.
Well, I won't, but my grandkids will. Hopefully some of them will still be living in Shoshone.
On the document from Engineering Associates, the very last paragraph on the first page under the bid summary,
Mm-hmm.
can you explain that to me? I don't understand it. With additional information regarding the anticipated contract between the town of Shoshone and Betts Electric, a formal recommendation or options for award cannot be provided.
That goes into the overall budget,
Right.
what I was referencing, that there's things in here with the overall budget, we're gonna have to scale back.
We didn't have an estimate for the electric yet. And so because I was afraid it's gonna be high, it was even higher than I thought. The normal, so we really have we didn't know how much money we would have. We didn't have that even at the time of the bid, and we hadn't had a cost estimate, not a bid, but a cost estimate that Best Electric gave us. That's how
It seems kind of cheesy that they go through the effort and then not make a recommendation. I mean, isn't it?
I didn't understand what that had to do with it, because the Betts is not gonna be a sub. It's gonna be directly from the town, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah,
So
it
it
just,
doesn't really have any impact on the bid one way or the other, so.
I thought the engineers, the EA was
they,
supposed to be providing some guidance here on, at least the quality of the bids and what they were going to do. And, I mean, from an engineering perspective, is this going to be the best fit for what we got, for what we need? I'm sorry, it just seems a little, like I said, I like the word cheesy, to chicken out and not give us, a recommendation.
their recommendation, their recommendation is concerned they didn't sign the sheet that,
The recommendation was that without additional information from Betts Electric, they can't make any recommendation. It had nothing to do in respect of signing or not signing.
their standard operating procedure for an engineer would reject B&M's bid.
Yeah,
Because they didn't sign the sheet. Marshall's told us legally, we're probably okay if that's. If you go that way. Yeah, we're legally okay.
So can we just table this for a while? Think about this.
Why?
I just feel the town has more problems than just the trailhead right now.
Well, this trailhead could be a real asset for the town of Shoshone. It's also following our master plan. For additional part that if we turn this grant away, with the town loses credibility in Cheyenne on future projects. This project, we were three out of 114 chosen, we were one of the three, because the state parks felt so good that this would be a good project for us.
So it's being funded by grant money,
100%?
Yes,
you know?
well, we got not 100%, we got our share.
Our share is,
Counting in kind, $36,723. The other $330,000 is grant money.
And how much is ours? 36.
Yeah,
with it kind of labor.
Yep.
So,
And that's for the bathrooms and the water and the septic and all that.
yeah.
I like,
So we're in budget.
and I like the idea that the state parks are back in this. I mean, that's significant to me.
Yes. And their ice, and CWC our economic, so I sat with Brand Hirschman, who's grant manager and who was managed, she sort of got changed around, but anyway, the state parks, and I spent 2 days with her and very excited about this trailhead, want to know what we're doing, we're moving on. I said, good chance we won't get it constructed till next year. But it's,
This is the project itself to me is a nice quality of life issue for Shoshone. I mean, I really think it's a nice. It's becomes one of the pieces of the puzzle to,
it's another piece.
that helps make us look.
It's like our town plaza, when we did that with no grant money. We did the street, we did the park, everything on our own because of what helped the town. It needed it really. There was a place where we could hold, one of the reasons we built it was so we'd have the 3-on-3 basketball tournament. And the whole package, doing the streets, it hadn't been paved since 1950 something. And, and that is just, may not have been important as the clinic, I don't know, but it sure gets a lot more attention. People all over that stop, shoot hoops, and I mean, it's
a big deal.
this isn't as visual, but can be an asset. Also, then once we get everything worked out, we may have to scale some of this back, we stay in budget. But there may be some,
Yeah, and the longer we wait,
but we move on this and then
the prices go up too.
we can
That'd be crazy.
go ahead and move forward and bring it forward.
So I'd like to move that we approve the LCI trucking and construction bid for the trailhead project.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Been second. Let's move by Councilman Nordine, second by Councilwoman Harkey. Any further discussion or concerns? I kind of understand. I look at the numbers. I think they're all higher. They're high. But I did compare numbers. They did come down about 10%. I looked at the core numbers over their last bid. About 10% reduction, so that I was hoping for 20%. But
23,000 is pocket change.
so but I mean, so that got where we can support this. Any other thoughts? None being all in favor of. Oh, did we name a little bit
I did, it's LCI trucking.
or LCI trucking?
The complete bid, no issues.
If we have any. While we're still in discussion, Marshall, do you feel if LCI and the town of Shoshone can't come to agreement? Would, in your opinion, would we be allowed to talk to B and M?
I'd have to do a little bit of research on that.
Cause that's,
I'd have to research that.
okay, without rebidding again, that'd be my question. So it's been moved and seconded that we approve the bid from LCI Trucking for $229,200. All in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed, the same. Motion passed on the affirmative. Budget. And so this is sort of a rough draft of a budget. It's not all there. There's a few things we need to sort out, but this is time restraints. This is a basic good start on many things.
What's the plan to work those things out? Are we having another budget meeting or what
We-
what do we do?
We will,
So we'll have 3 hearings. Of the
You
actual
have to have
budget,
3 readings or
Three
we
readings.
pass it.
and each
3 times.
reading, there can be still changes, things made at each reading up until the 3rd reading when it has to be passed. We have to have the budget completely, 3 public hearings, not just readings, there's public hearings. Well, 1 public hearing at the end, but 3 readings have to take place. So we'll have those. And we have to have a full budget completed by the end of June. So our 2nd meeting, June, so we'll have.
So we have 3 meetings left of this.
Correct, yeah, basically.
well, if I'm looking at the calendar, right, we could,
Next meeting.
And we've had.
we could put it off one more meeting, but we have to have 3 readings by.
End of June.
Yeah, by the end of June.
And we've only got 3 meetings.
I mean, we've gone
after
over.
this.
Multiple times, almost every aspect of it, except for certain things, I mean. My opinion is. What do we need to go over? And, but we can't go over in during the readings, because we need to fine tune, we need to have another.
No, that's what I was saying. Right, just saying, if you had a concern, we do.
Oh, no, so my one concern and that we discussed is on the sewers and all, the back truck. We need to make sure that we have some idea what kind of,
Mike is supposed to be getting us numbers for it, he hadn't got them.
right, yes.
What it's gonna cost.
Yeah, that
But we
if
need
maybe
to-
we could bump him about that.
Yeah.
What I'll say to that is later on the agenda, we're selling some equipment. My suggestion would be to keep that in mind, and then if we have to look at modifying the budget after it's done in July.
Yeah, if that's how it comes to, just,
Then we could have increased revenues, increased expenditures to pay for whatever versus trying to tackle that now, right before the budget, if we don't get it at the time. I'm just.
yeah,
I'll turn your
there's
thought.
options, yeah.
If we don't have it in time is all I'm saying.
Cause what I was referencing is we had a bunch of rentals for the sewer equipment,
Right,
cause our back trucks broke down. I don't know actually what's wrong with it, but. It'd be nice to,
Is that a diesel?
no,
It
well,
is-
it's not.
it is.
engine.
but it's not the engine, it's, I don't know, I think it almost sounded like maybe the tank's not sealing.
Well, I think it could be sealed.
Or the pump ain't
it's one of the-
working or
And it's got
something.
some hydraulic issues also.
Yeah. I'd rather put the money into our truck than into rentals.
Yeah. That's something we need to,
But that was the only thing we had talked.
yeah, we
about.
missed, Lander just sold when we missed out. I think sold it to Pavilion real cheap. But. Tried, yeah, that Mac beat me to it.
Well, we have one. It may not need much,
May not need much to fix it,
or it may need a lot.
Well,
because we don't.
who's gonna do the evaluation and then the potential fixing of it? Is that a Mike's court to take care of, or?
Well, he doesn't have the expertise,
Right,
but we need to find someone that does. I don't know if we have anybody in Fremont County that does back trucks. I would think we do. Well,
There's a couple of truck shops that I know work on them in Riverton. I don't know who all.
Some of the outlying things that we hadn't discussed at all really or finalized was council expenditures and then. I have some suggestions on the enterprise fund and I'm Mike, I thought he was gonna be here today to go over that, but I do think we need to raise water rates. I was trying to wait to the very end to see if we needed to do this, because I know it's never happy. Costs are going up. We need to have a water enterprise and a wastewater enterprise fund that doesn't just break even. And then depend on savings, if there is any, to cover shortfalls. You need to have an enterprise fund that's not only solvent, but is solvent enough where it is actually able to have some surplus monies to respond to things like this year. We've had numerous breaks that have that threw us over budget. So our enterprise funds are gonna lose money this year. That's already set, that's gonna happen. So my suggestion is looking at it is the numbers, and we've also lost customers, big customers that
Mushroom farm.
that took a huge chunk out of our revenues, so we have to unfortunately backfill. To make it solvent as budgeted, but that's it. And so I do think that my recommendation would be, the water and the wastewater, to go up a total of $5 again.
Each?
No, I'm not, I don't want to get crucified.
I'm like, well, there's a bunch of people that haven't told me what a dirty bastard I am and going on a year, so we might as well get this done so I can hear it again.
So, yes, I do think they need to go up. I think it needs to go up $6 for water and $4 for sewer. I just don't know if people would stomach that right now. But if nothing else, half that, 3 for water, 2 for sewer would be my recommendation to at least give us a little bit of leeway.
Is, my concern though is, we really need the sewer. I'll look at it closer, but you think it's, earlier on, we were talking that sewer
Sewer needs it as well, but it's
but I'm
more predictable than water right now.
we may be able to get a grant for that. That's what I've been talking with HDR on. Maybe we can get a grant, but we need to camera our sewers. We're trying to try to get a grant for that, but
We make $160 a year out of sewer.
Huh?
We make $160,000 before any expenses whatsoever from the sewer, so. It's a fixed cost. Water has a multiplier for usage, as you know.
oh, yes,
Right.
we do our
Sewer
part to
does not.
support the budget.
So the only reason, normally I would agree that the sewer needs to go up $4 and the water needs to go up $1. If at all, outside of anything else. But because we lost that one, as I said, big
Yeah.
customer, that's why I'm suggesting that the water go up 3 and the sewer go up 2.
When you say go up $5, you're talking about,
So your bill would be $85 instead of 80.
yeah, okay,
Your base bill. Your base bill. would be
base bill, okay, all right.
and you're still allowed 10,000 gallons of water.
Well, I told Joe that.
So that won't affect your usage above that's a different rate per usage, $3 per 1,000 gallons.
Yep, and on water, of course, it doesn't make a big deal either, but some of our small businesses are paying the same as big business for water. And, I think they pay double, right? For sewer water, 80 instead of.
Yeah, so if you're-
160 instead of 80.
Yeah, if you're a business, you pay double.
But we have a couple small businesses, maybe like the Lucky Five,
We go up $10 instead of 5.
I mean.
I know Rivers,
maybe ought to be charging them residential, something like Tom's shop. I mean, they don't use much water down there. That's a thought. It's speaking of complaining. I've had that brought up to why, cause they're using less water than I do at my house.
well, we have some leeway with that, but the thing is by state law, they have to be solvent. We're not supposed to back.
Well, no, I know.
No, I was,
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't.
Oh, okay, yeah, we have.
So by state law,
That I understand.
as enterprise funds, they have to be self-sufficient, quasi-governmental, essentially, that they run independently of the general fund. As far as we don't backfill with general fund money typically. That's what was happening 10 years ago, 5 years ago, until all this changed. But we don't do that now, which is why rates are getting up there to where they should have been.
Some municipalities will take funds out of general fund by not allocating the proper labor to the sewer and water. You,
Yeah, you have a water operator, but you make it as a town employee out of public works or streets and alleys, which is funded by general fund,
right,
not an enterprise. fund.
instead of sewer and water.
So that it doesn't incur any expenses for the employee. That's what was going on before. So you had no employee costs for the enterprise fund. So it was like, oh, they're making all this money. Well, yeah, when you have no employees on the books, they're coming out, yeah, you make a lot of money. But when you actually have employees, which is 80% of our overall costs or personnel, yeah, it makes an impact. So that's why I'm recommending what I recommended as a raise,
Right.
just because of what I've done with the enterprise funds to this point. But all things being equal, the mayor's right, sewer does need to go up more than water, but in this case, because of the situation, the realities, that's my recommendations.
So is that gonna be something we vote on now or? is it gonna be
No,
something just add
this is
to
a
it?
framework.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, it's for the next one, so I know what the council's thinking. If you're like, no, we're not doing that, okay, fine, I won't put that in. But was my recommendation now, is for you guys kind of, figure
Yeah,
out.
numbers here, $5 is the least of my worries with my water bill.
And I don't think it's that big of an, I mean, Riverton's increasing fairly significantly. We're, a little bit more expensive in water, but but it's the Walmart model. Okay, we're Kmart, low volume, low sales versus Walmart, high volume, cheaper prices. So
we're like gambles.
yeah, so we don't have the high volume of customers that Riverton has. So yeah, our rates are probably gonna be a little bit higher because we have less to pull from to facilitate the need of the water. So, but they're not astronomically higher than Riverton's. I'm talking maybe
Yeah.
$6 a month more for water.
Are we higher than Riverton? We
Yeah.
never used to.
We are for water and sewer because they include in their trash. So when you strip out trash, we're about $6 more for water per month and about $4 more. So about $10 total more for water and sewer only than Riverton. But you also have to take into consideration, they have 10,000 people, we have 550, 600. So, yeah,
I make
ours
the
are gonna be.
motion that we raise it $5.
I don't really have a motion right now, just an
It
agreement,
just
really.
be, I mean, we need our water, we need our sewer.
Well, but it'll come out in the next, Chris will have that in the budget. Basically, he's asking for guidance.
I think
Yeah,
we should
that's,
do it.
I'm explaining to you why I think that, but I'm also gonna preface that with what the mayor said, that the sewer is the more concern. But right now, this year, because of the loss of the mushroom farm, that was about $30,000 a year. Yes, the water needs to go up a little more than sewer.
It's a lot of water.
Otherwise, it would be the other way around, but just,
Right.
I'm trying to strike a balance without going too far and too high, too quick, but to make sure that they're at least not just solvent, but we have a little bit of profit this year if we run across something next year like we did this year. That we're not having to be like, well, we lost money this year. That's not sustainable. So,
And we wanna pay our employees, we're not overpaying anybody. We wanna continue to try to.
Right.
Give them, livable wage, what we're saying, that comes, they're. We gotta get the fund somehow to do that. So. Anything else, And then I'm gonna look real good at that, how many, I'm figuring on planning on the conferences, all this plan on 3 in our budget.
and Mayor, just want to point out, there already is a state statute that precludes you. You cannot you cannot pay dues from town money for any conference whatsoever, including Wham. Unless it's budgeted specifically titled as such, which it is under trans conventions. If anybody wants to know why we don't pay out of your fund as a council, why it comes out of conventions, that's why. There already is actually in the book.
Well, no, but yeah, what they're trying,
They're trying to restrict it even more.
well, they're trying to restrict that you can't budget and pay for it. There's no way you can pay for it. It was defeated, but, and that's any organism.
I was kind of playing around with that, just to let you know that there already is a law that does not allow us to pay for dues for conferences, peace officer and other conferences and such, unless it's specifically detailed as a budgetary item in the budget for that purpose, which ours is on our
Right.
conventions. So going to the council budget, you go into Wham or anyone in the council, it does not come out of the council's budget, it comes out of the convention's budget, and that's why that's that way. So when you go to the other stuff, it comes out of your budget. But when you go to Wham, it does not. So as you're thinking about your budget, that's why.
Well, it's the dues. What they were talking about is the dues.
No, there's more than that. Including travel, including hotels, everything. So any expenses incurred for the travel, including dues. What they're trying to do is stop the dues, but I'll show you the statute.
Okay,
I'm sure.
they're trying to stop everything.
I know they are,
Yeah,
but as it currently stands, there already is something on the books that
Mhm.
addresses that, just not as restrictive as what they're trying to do next.
well, yeah, it would make for the council could not vote to put it on the budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just filling y'all in. So there's no other changes. I mean, we don't have anything for the council budget, which is the travel and all that stuff, so I don't really know. If that's something we want to tackle during the first reading, or if that's something we want to tackle now and try and figure out at least the framework for it.
I'll have everything ready for it next meeting.
So take care of it at the first reading. then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I'll have all the numbers of everything I'm trying to put together.
And the other thing I'm gonna bring up, is just as a discussion thing that maybe we address later on, the mayor and I had a conversation, but I do think we need to make a somewhat of a pay adjustment with the expectation to hire a replacement personnel, maybe budgeted for 1 month employment or even 2 months prior to. That would give us option, whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever that looks like, to get somebody trained before somebody were to leave personnel wise. That might be something that we need to look at maybe doing in the budget.
We're not making a new position, we're just,
It's not a new position. It's basically taking position, making it a. Instead of, if you think of it this way, our budget is for 12 months. We're gonna add 2
1
months to
month.
that, make it 13 or 14 months in the budget. That way we can hire somebody while that person's still employed to be able to have on-the-job training with the current employee.
right,
Before they phase out.
okay,
So it's not a new position. It would be blending into it, whether it becomes, when it's all said and done, whether part-time, full-time, whatever, that is to be decided later on, but it gives us the option to go either way with it.
right,
That is at least covered in the budget. If it was a full-time position, it carries on, it's fine. If it becomes part-time or something like that, then we'd spend less over the course of the year.
right.
We need to start, planning if we're not, we need. What our youngest, public works employees, 62 or 63 years old.
Are you trying to say that's old?
Huh?
Are you trying to say that's old?
No, they're young, but they may wanna retire early. I told them 75, they needed to stay till they're 75. I didn't figure that was babies yet. But, no, but just in case, we need to start bringing people in and can get some learning.
We do bring people in for waters for the summer,
Yes,
so we have that option.
well, that's part of the training for that. That
Right.
would be, we had a high school student come down. And him and Mike are gonna get together here in the next week and talk about the options. You know, it would be, he's a junior. You know, so, but we may, you know. Depends how long before.
I
he
thought
meets with-
before when we had two teenagers apply, they couldn't take it because they weren't 18.
Gotta be 16. 16.
So, but I'll try and go to clerk and see if we can figure out a way to put those on the side so the council can kind of see what they've already discussed and talked about, so it's not confusing. With that, I would imagine probably $5,000 for between benefits and if it was to be full-time. Somewhere around there per month. Maybe not 5,000, maybe closer to 4,000. Well, with insurance and stuff, maybe 5,000. We have $28,000 that's not been allocated in the budget yet from our revenues. So we're not out of money. We don't figure out where to come from it. We have money, it just depends what the council wants to do. But it's just something to think about because I mean, we can always not do anything, not plan for it, and then modify the budget at a later date. It's always an option too. We've done that in the past, but just thoughts. I think we need to plan for the proper way to transition and not just throw a shock to the town when you have all the workers that are already running around with their heads on fire.
Sure.
And then throw it in the chaos of another employee gone and trying to train somebody else with existing personnel while doing everything else. It's just not a good plan.
Plan for one, but we may have to.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, whatever it looks like in the end, it might end up being less we spend than we budget for, but if we did budget for it as a continuation as a full-time employee, at least we have that in there. Whether it turns into that or not, then we just spend less money if it's part-time or something like that. It's easier to spend less than can't overspend.
Any other questions or suggestions on the budget?
Everyone's good with $3 and $2 for water and sewer?
Yeah.
I want to preface, it needs to be more. But I think that
I think, didn't you say $5 for?
5 total.
5 total, $3
For both.
water, $2 sewer. I think sewer needs to go up 6,
Doesn't-
but
yeah.
I don't know. If that's. something
Not
we
a
should
math
do.
major either, huh?
Me?
On our
Just joking.
sewer deal, so where we have HDR looking at all that, that's coming out of the,
We paid for that out of savings. So we actually incorporated that from well, actually, we paid for that out of our, yeah, we didn't use our depreciation, we used our savings to pay for that. The PER you're talking about,
yeah.
yeah, we paid for that out of pocket, there's no grant for that. But we needed to get it done.
But-
to-
Oh, no, we need to
that
do
for
that.
future
Well,
grants.
hopefully that'll,
Get-
in the past, if you could keep that to be used as our match on our grant that we're gonna get to move forward.
That's the thought behind it.
Right.
Paid cash.
And then, yeah.
That one's already been paid, that one's all done now, so we should be done with that payment too, so that's, so that won't continue into the next year.
Okay, that's where I was kind of going with. that.
Yeah,
If we
it'll be
had
clean slate.
more expenses incurring over that.
No,
Anything else before we move on? Sale of the B and B property, put it out for bid. I think we need to do that.
Well, we put it out for bid as just one property and
Yep.
advertise it
all 4
for
lots,
this one chunk.
Yeah.
one chunk.
So, I'm sorry, where is B and B?
Well, it's on the corner of Fifth and Idaho.
It's that vacant lot right that way.
Okay.
Right across from.
When you're
RV
going
park.
towards Thermopolis, right after you pass town hall, there's a big vacant lot. It's half of that. Half of it's private, half of it's ours. There's
Yeah,
a big empty
half
lot.
we
on your
sold
right-hand
that.
side.
We sold the
So-
shop with 2 lots, we still own
Behind
it.
it.
Yeah, and the 4 lots are what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those four commercial
Right,
lots
so with.
with highway access.
And word on the street is there's interest in it and we can
Yes.
just put it out for bid and hopefully we get a reasonable bid.
Oh, this is what we talked about before too.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay,
I think we got at least 2 people I've been told that they're interested in.
That's why I move we sell it as one, advertise it,
Yep,
put it
I'll
out. for
second
bid.
it.
do we want to put them in an acceptable bid or just put in there that we can approve or disapprove of once the bids come in?
Yeah, we
Or can we
direct all
gotta-
bids.
You either, I mean, the rule is you either have to accept one or deny them all.
Right, correct.
Like accept the
But-
high.
but we
bid
gotta-
and,
But I think we gotta put something in the bid to leave us that option, or we just take the high bid. If we don't put that disclaimer, correct?
No, well, yeah, I mean. That's not what the statute says.
Okay.
The statute just says you have to either
Accept them all,
or accept one or deny all of them. You either have to accept the high
High
bid or
bid.
deny all of them.
or deny
It
it.
doesn't say you have to put in a disclaimer or anything.
Okay,
In this-
that's-
In the statute. I mean,
okay, that's what I was asking,
yeah, the statute doesn't say anything about disclaimer.
okay.
Or you can cite to that statute. So people may know.
Yeah, probably some, it's. Yeah, just, okay,
Yeah, you could put that down there that you're doing the bid for. Wyoming statute such and such.
yeah, and sell them by high bid, we don't have to appraise it.
Right.
So,
So the bids have to be in by when?
Well, we'll have them in for the second council meeting in June. We have to advertise
Right.
yeah,
and then have a public hearing, so. Or a public opening, I guess.
we gotta advertise it 3 times, I think, right?
I can't remember if that one's 2 or 3. I believe it's 2, but. There's so many statutes, don't quote me if I get them wrong. I think historically we've done 3. Just had a good measure, so.
That's what I'm remembering.
It might be 2 as a requirement.
Well, and if you're trying to sell something, more advertisements better than less.
Yeah. All the bids have to be a week separated, so. So if we get it in the newspaper next week, that would be 1, 2, then we'd be in the middle of June. So we wanted to do the second meeting in June for the openings. Or
Put it up on our Facebook page, I'll put it on my personal,
3 weeks.
3
it is
weeks.
3, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, definitely the second meeting in June.
So that's a good thing. Does Kim got anything on signage?
All of that in the packet.
We gonna vote on that, by the way?
The one
Oh.
from Da Vinci was the first one. And then Jake, I'm sorry. Karen. That's the other one. Which is, God, that,
Da Vinci Sign Systems.
Wyoming Signs. That, Da Vinci was the first one. Wyoming Signs is the second one that he got. And I had asked him to get, if he could get another quote that would include the pricing to get like the logo or some type of signage up on the north side of the building. And he didn't get that back to me, but he told me, sent me an email saying, go ahead and get this. And just to let council know that that would be an extra charge to get a signage up on the north side of the building.
It looks like Wyoming signs is about 23,000. Minus the north side. And Da Vinci's is 18.5. Am I reading that right?
Mhm.
I have no idea.
Are the signs apples to apples?
Was that?
Yeah,
Are the
they're
signs
supposed-
apples to apples?
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Ideal.
Yeah, your microphone's kind of muddled.
It is
Yeah.
low.
Maybe. I didn't catch it.
Sounds like you're underwater.
Uh,
What did you say about the signage?
what did you ask?
You were saying something about the signage that we couldn't understand.
It's supposed to be apples to apples. It's extra to have signage on the north side of the building.
So I guess the same, I guess is they don't have a quote for the north side if we want to put the signage on the north side, which is.
Correct.
That's,
Jared did not.
So both these bids do not include signage on the north, which we hadn't previously discussed. That'd be a secondary thing, but. From these two, Da Vinci is. 18.5 and Wyoming signs are 23 approximately thousand. That's my quick math is. Not mathing. It is late.
so maybe we should wait till we get them out for the north side or,
Do we have a budget for the sign?
Nope.
So the money's coming out of the $5 increase in the super.
That's what
That
you
would
want-
be pretty
If
illegal.
that's what you want to tell everybody in town, go for it. Good luck.
I'm just
I'm
asking.
moving.
No, so what we'll do, if we get it paid for this year, I've already talked to the mayor and the clerk. We'll sit down with all the department heads. And we'll go over our existing funding mechanisms, and we'll reprogram what we're not gonna spend and see if we have the money, which I believe we do. For unspent monies in this budget year, so we won't have to increase the budget, we'll just use what was previously existing. With the approval of the department heads, which I'm pretty sure nobody's gonna have a problem taking their money that they're not gonna spend anyway.
Oh, that was a bad joke.
Oh. While we're talking signage, this is sort of related to that flagpole. We can discuss that next meeting. Sale of surplus equipment.
So do we wanna,
Oh, we need to vote.
yeah, what do we wanna do with this?
So don't forget to vote
On
on
the B and B property.
Yeah, because we kind
I
of,
moved in
Okay.
2 seconds.
yeah,
On the B and B or this signage,
On the B and B
B&B,
property,
okay.
I moved.
second.
Tammy
No
seconded.
further discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye, pose the same. Motion passed. We'll put it up for bid as discussed. Signage. Do we want to go ahead and move forward with the lower price one here?
But could that change with that north side to a big amount to flip
No,
them?
because it's gonna be just a small little signage added.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it won't be anything, it won't be as big as what's up here.
Mhm.
It's just to give visibility for people coming south
Okay,
that would otherwise miss the signage unless they looked in their rearview mirror or something. That was the thought process behind that.
okay. I'll move that way.
Da Vinci,
That's not good.
been moved by Councilwoman Harkey, second by Councilman Nordine, that we move forward on the Da Vinci estimate of 19,000. Was it? Five something?
No, it'd be 17,
No, it's 18,549.
18,549.
Like 47 cents. Right there.
Okay.
it's kind of where I had that.
Budget import, yeah, as
My
Councilman
brain
Nordine,
hurts, okay?
as Councilman Nordine.
So. In their scope of work and design, so I'm assuming we're at the discussion phase.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Not trying to jump ahead, but there says in here, price assumes electric will be at the installation location at the time of installation. So we have power there. Electric there.
We would have to put power to it.
We do, we would probably have to do a little bit of drilling to
Right.
get it from in through the brick, but it won't be a major project. Yes, we have power throughout the building.
I'm just.
No, it's a good question. I was looking, we do have it there, but we don't currently have it outside. So, yeah, we'd have to call probably electrician or whoever to bore
Yes.
through it and to bring it out to whatever, but I wouldn't imagine that's gonna be too expensive. If you see Joel with a ladder, then you know it was expensive.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
an underrated ladder.
We don't have any
town
over here.
here, something that week, only 200 pounds.
So, no, yeah, it is close by, so it's not like we have to rewire everything, but we'd have to access it, we'd have to get someone to bore through the brick, bring it out.
thanks.
We might actually have it already out there, because we have the exterior lighting,
That's what I was gonna say. Don't you have cameras too?
and, well, no, the cameras run off of fiber.
Mm.
Gets powered by the Ethernet.
Fiber.
We have-
Did you know Kirby has fiber optics? Kirby Wyoming. They're installing it right now.
You know, I thank you for that tidbit, this is why we have 3-hour council meetings.
Just didn't know if you knew this.
Sorry. Ready to vote?
So we
No.
vote,
Let's vote.
okay. Well. New, we ready to move on to new business? We all said aye for signage, right?
No, we didn't.
We
That's
didn't.
okay. We was in discussion.
We were in discussion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same, motion passed. I thought I forgot that. Sale of surplus equipment, we have a list, is that Mike drew
Yeah, I
up?
thought it was scanned on there, but, oh, that's why it's on the other. It's split with 2 documents.
Right.
That's why I found it. There's all the pictures of the signage too on the second page. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then a whole bunch of desks, so 9 pieces of equipment and then. Random desk equipment and chairs and tables and. A Yamaha gas golf cart. Ron's old travel vehicle.
But
Comfortable.
put some sirens and lights on it, see if we can't hire Barney.
So basically, we take pictures, we put it out for bid, we reference the town website and then provide pictures to anyone that wants it, and then they come. Bid number to inspect it and then place a bid. I would imagine we want to do the same thing that we do the other bid, right?
Right,
Keep all the
same
bids in
thing,
the same.
Yep.
Same meeting,
needs to be advertised 3 times just like that.
so. we're good with that, I guess. Do we need a vote for that or just a?
You know, the only thing I'll ask Councilman Stetler. Do we want to further, we had someone approach us on buying one of the pieces of equipment, actually
Doing a swap trade.
do a trade. Do we want to further investigate that?
Man, that's just a tough call.
Like I said, it's something, it's gonna need some work on too, but something we can't afford this year, but maybe next year, but. It's someone has a water truck,
Like a tanker.
yeah, like an
semi-truck
oil
with a water
field,
tank.
110 barrel truck.
Maybe he'll be the high bidder and still staff for that cost.
Maybe what?
Maybe he'll be the high bidder and work out buying it from him directly.
I didn't see that on the list.
The patrol blade
Yeah,
should have been,
fire truck, tractor. Sewer jet pump hose reel. Sander. Compressor, sewer snake.
That's not on there.
jeez.
Hey, Chris, what do you have here?
I can't understand you.
Because I think that
Cause I know somebody else, I do know someone else that's interested in it.
We should do something with it.
So we were talking about a water truck.
Yeah, and I'm thinking if a guy could throw some batteries in it, even to just
Start it.
long enough to start it, and if it runs and sounds.
We check out the
decent,
pump on
make sure that
make- it, we could really use a water truck to charge.
Yeah.
Good. So with this one is,
it's not like, it doesn't have like the pump and all the sprayers. But they have some different apparatuses you can put on the back to dredge the road.
yeah,
So that we could grade roads more than 3 days a year.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
that's why we're looking.
But
at
the
it.
problem is we looked at it, so I think it would work. We haven't heard it run. There's a couple of mechanical issues we were discussing. And the tires is the big one.
Tires are bad.
So that's here in Shoshone or is?
Roughly,
It's in that lot or something that you.
No,
No.
it's just roughly in Shoshone. It's in the Shoshone area. But
Okay.
10 semi tires, 2 steer axle and 8 drives would. That's a
Lot of money.
pretty good chunk of cash.
So how does that work with the sale? What do we, I mean, I'm,
If we can
It's in the
do it,
correction.
we can do a trade. We can trade. If we wanted to, we can trade. And
a whole
to,
list or something.
well, they are interested in the blade. They need a blade. They don't need a water. truck. They are interested in trading.
Oh, here they are. I didn't scan the back page.
Okay, but we could,
It's on there.
we would have to get a, you know, appraisal from an equipment dealer, something of value. It's public money, then we can trade. You can trade,
Okay, so we can legally trade.
we can legally trade.
Okay.
So you can see it.
Yeah,
That would be a concern, because I mean, it's.
Yeah, no, you gotta trade.
Yeah. So,
It's right on the front of the, if you look at what you can do or can't do, it's right there. I read right past it, like, God, can we trade? Makes sense, you can. Now it'll look, God, yes, you can, or went right over it. You can trade.
so there's a blade on this list.
So the
the-
back side, I didn't
It's
scan
on
it,
the
those
back.
are the back. So I didn't scan
No,
both
it's on
sides.
both
It's
sides.
hidden. It's hidden.
That's-
Yes.
Okay,
And back page.
It's an older blade that's got a blown engine.
That we've already replaced.
Yeah, that's our new big one we got a few years ago.
It's a motor. Actually, that's a cheap thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So. It's
Thank you.
like the water, it does have. That's why I got Jake to go out. We looked
The
at,
downside, I mean, conservatively, I think we'd have to put about $7,000 into that truck.
I do too, 7 to 10.
We have a truck for our trade and $7,000-$10,000.
Something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, if,
roughly.
And we might get by with 7.
but that's mostly
That sounds like a cheap truck.
But that's not tires.
that, no, I'm saying with tires.
With tires,
So-
about $7,000, yeah, that includes the tires.
We haven't heard it run. With tires,
About 1,000 apiece.
no, I don't think they're that bad, maybe.
It's been driving water truck.
It. I guess it depends on which level of tires. You spend 3,000 a tire if you want.
Right?
So
But we don't, I don't know that we've got the extra. It's one of those deals, that's where. If a guy could tinker with it and fix all the things, it's been sitting for a while, fix some of the issues, it'd be probably a pretty good deal, but we don't. Have somebody to do that, so we have to pay. But if it's as solid as we're told, it would be probably a good investment, I think.
We'd have a lot better idea if we gotta run it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
probably worth looking at it, make sure it's done.
right.
yeah, who does that? Who does that?
Well, they need to get some batteries out there. We have more time, he said he could get it running. We went out there.
Well, you
late
got a little bit
yesterday.
of timing, if we're into the forbid, we got probably 10 days to decide if we want to put that
Yeah.
on there or take it off. So. If I was move forward the rest of it, then if you decide that it's worthwhile, we can take it off and do that. If not. we can,
Sure,
That's okay.
And then I think that makes sense, particularly. We need a truck that can brake. We just do. That's what I hear.
and it's just gonna be driving on the streets as she's showing, so we're gonna have to be DOT.
Might. I don't know. I'd have to check into the law.
Like we have law enforcement around here or anything.
I know,
Yeah,
chief,
there's such a speed
It ain't
trap.
real hard to pass an annual
But
DOT.
not in a wink, and it'll be fine, yeah.
so. Moving on. We ready to move on?
Just keep it off of Second Street, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So do we need to vote? We're gonna put it out for bid? Did we agree on that? Were we in
I don't-
discussion? Do we have a motion and a second?
Well, we don't have a complete list yet because of the truck, right?
It's on there.
It's on there.
No,
Yeah.
but I mean. The disposition of that is not, it's on there.
That's what I was saying is if we just move forward, put it out for bid and then, if they decide the next 10 days that. it's
We can
off
take
the
it off.
trade, we can just take it off without
All right.
having to.
I move we put those things out for bid with the option to remove the.
I'll second
Oh.
that.
Move the blade. Been moved by Councilman Stetler, second by Councilman Dean. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all the same, motion passed on the affirmative. Payment app number 1, Winter Oilfield Service.
This is one of our grant funded projects, the first payment application. Last rehabilitation project is just getting started, so it's a lot of the initial materials and stuff to get started on the well houses that are being built and constructed. So this will be the first of probably 6 or 7 paid from them. Over the next, this will go into next budget year. It's already planned out.
Well, it's all grant money anyway, too, right?
Yeah, well, yes.
Mostly, mostly. I'm sure we have our skin in the game, but yeah. Yeah, I move that we approve the bid or the payment.
I'll second it.
Been moved by Councilman Nordine, seconded by Councilwoman Hartke, that we approve payment app number 1, Wind River Oilfield Service. Any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Both same, motion passed, all in the affirmative. Payment estimate number 1, LCI Trucking and Construction LLC.
So this is gonna be pretty much 90% of the cost for the water tank. Road access, well, I'll say probably more like 80% of the majority of the water tank access and road modification project. This one gives me heartburn because it's $317,000, but
That's what.
$317,000 in one chunk, so it's a big one, but it's gonna be pretty much the entire project. So we'll have probably one more pay
The numbers
application
here.
for probably 90,000, or actually, probably 60,000 when it's all said and done. But, this will be the majority of the project right here in this one pay app, so.
A motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Been moved by Councilman Sattler, seconded by Councilman Nordine. That passed number 1, LCI Trucking be paid. No, any further discussion? None being, all in favor, say aye. Aye, pose same, motion passed, all affirmative. Mike did leave me a letter to read. And I will read, good evening, Mayor, Highsmith Council members. Here's a brief update of projects that are currently on hold while we wait for the precast building. Buildings have been pushed back to the end of June. Although we may have the well house for number 5 delivered by June 2nd, according to Rob of Wind River Oilfield Service. At well number 5, the yard piping for the water main, at well number 5, the yard piping from the water main and the wellhead has been installed. The flush hydrant has also been installed. The pad that the well house will be placed on is complete. Once the building has been delivered, we'll set it on its designated place with Wind River Oilfield Service will begin to demo. And then Wind River Well Service will begin to demo of well 4. The check valve bypass has been installed on the transmission line that goes to the tank, the well 2, 5, and 6. Did that so we then drain the tank. LCI Construction and Trucking. LCI has completed installation of culverts, geogrid on the tank access road. Grade W road base is applied to the road. The vault by the tank has been installed with the Ultra Thing 230 spray foam insulation with Ultra Flex 1000 top coating. The lid was insulated with 2-inch insulated blue board. So that's insulation of valve we have buried in that we can control to open, shut the water. So they're working as 2 different projects. One's the water tank to the where they're building the road, and we're working on the tank, and the other's well house projects. So they're both moving along. Good. We're having some delivery problems, but other than that. That's what Mike told me that I know about, is what's going on. Do you have anything, Councilman Stetler?
No.
Councilman Markey?
No.
Like to, no? Councilman Nordine?
This is not meant to be discussion topics for tonight, but just kind of something that
Okay,
I'd like to just bring up. And one is that with the passing of House Bill 172, after July 1st, we're going to people will be able to then carry handgun and so air gun at meetings. Just, I don't know if everybody's aware of that, but I just wanted to make that clear.
so that way it's a fair fight.
Yeah, Right, so the other thing is, call it a personal thing, but I really, quality of life and the town of Shoshone, trying to add to that, and we talked about the Trailhead Project and other things. I mean, we're doing I think the town is doing a great job and moving in the right direction one step at a time. One thing I'd like to talk about in the future is a dog park. And where we would do a dog park. And I think that where the crossroads, this is where people come.
Yeah.
And I just think it would be something that's really worth talking. So I've started some conversations and I don't know where, I don't, everybody, I need to know where to look kind of, so I can do kind of the background on it to kind of pull some stuff together, but I just want to let you know that I'm out there conniving to try to see what could be worthwhile. But a location would be something, where would we do this at? Down by the trailhead would make sense to me, but that's, I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm not hard over on any sort of thing. Maybe, anyway, another discussion at another time. I just wanted to bring it up, put on the radar that I think a dog park could be cool.
And it'd be easy to do one down
Oh, I think it would be easy. Yeah.
there.
I
I
don't
mean,
even
it
know
would
what a
be,
dog park is.
huh?
I don't even know what a dog park is.
What's a parking lot? You got a little one.
A park where you take your,
They take your dogs.
Yeah,
I thought every park was a dog park.
No, these one, they can go and do their thing.
They
They
do.
can play with other dogs. They
Yeah.
can, they can,
right.
no fighting though,
Yeah.
but there's actually a list of rules. Thermopolis has a dog park. I know Du Bois has a dog park. We played catch in their dog park. And you put up signage, people can find it. That's how we found the one in Du Bois. It's like totally by accident, but we were traveling through. And it just, if you're traveling in Casper, in Mills, right where the, they do a lot of rafting and they put in, kayaking.
Yes,
And so right at that park there, as in just on the edge, I think between Ed Mills and Poplar, there's a dog park on the south side of the road. And it's a nice dog park right next to the river. It's with other recreational sort of activities, So
no,
anyway,
I think that's a good place.
Aren't
down
they generally fenced in?
Mhm.
yes,
So that-
Yes.
So it's not just like an open air park, they're fenced in, so all dogs have to stay inside. the
Right.
fence.
Right.
yeah, and you could you can get as elaborate as you want. I think having water there is good. I think I said I was gonna get a discussion. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool. I wanna do some research on that.
That's
and-
exactly what this round table's for.
Yeah, I know, but
It's exact.
anyway, I just need some help on where it would go. Where it would go, and then I can start doing some design things to try to put pieces together. I could even pull in some people that would maybe do A2A stuff to kind of help with that a little bit too,
Yeah,
just saying. Anyway, just
a good idea.
be on notice. I want to talk dog work, yeah.
No, that's a good idea. It's. Yeah, I don't want to bring up too much. Yeah, Prairie Rail Carson just talked about that's one that's moving along fine. They're starting to hire people, a good chance they'll be in operation in July. The nothing new on the medical claim. They're working on their end, putting all the everything they need to do. We're gonna use our proclamation as a guide for other municipalities and counties in our area. Try to get some more support. But other than that, I'm ready for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
And it's reluctantly.
I am surprised, and I will second it.
And Councilman Harkey did move to reclose the meeting, second by Councilman Nordine. Any further discussion? None apparent, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same, motion passed on the affirmative around 9:09.
tomorrow's
Yes.
fun